that's worth cutting down a tree for is worth doing right. Don't the Lord love a 2x4? And if you asked him how to do something, he said like Noah built the ark. You gotta hold your mouth right, son, and never miss your
Real Country is celebrating Country Music Month. Every day during the month of October, we're featuring a different Real Country superstar. Today's artist is Kenny Rogers.
I wouldn't listen, and I couldn't see. In all I have left now are words you said to me. Sing your song, sweet music man. 'Cause I won't be there to hold your hand like I used to. I'm through with you. You're a hell of a singer and a powerful man, but you surround yourself with people who demand so little of you. You touched my soul with your beautiful song. Singing along right with you. You said I need you. Then you changed the words and added harmony, and you sang the song you had written for me to someone new. But nobody sings a love song quite like you do. And nobody else can make me sing along. And nobody else can make me feel that things are right when I know they're wrong. Nobody sings a love song quite like you. Sing your song, sweet music man. Travel the world with a six-piece band that does for you what you ask them to. And you try to stay young with the songs you sung, but so many people have all begun to come back on you. So sing your song, sad music man. Making you live and doing one-night stands that do with you. They don't need you. You're still a hell of a singer, but a broken man. But you'll keep on looking for one last friend to sing to. But nobody sings a love song quite like you do. Nobody else can make me sing along. And nobody else can make me feel that things are right when they're wrong with a song. Nobody sings a love song quite like you. So sing your song, sweet music man. I believe in you.
There's some Kenny Rogers. It's all about the sweet music man as we celebrate Real Country's Country Music Month. And today happens to be a look at Kenny Rogers. By the way, that song appeared on his 1977 album, Daytime Friends. It was released as the final single off that album. And the song reached number 9 on the country charts, published by Billboard magazine, number 44 on the Hot 100 charts. But it was number 1 on the adult contemporary charts and the Canadian country charts, and Kenny decided to use that song as the B-side of two of his later singles, Lady, which came out in 1980, and You Were a Good Friend, which came out in 1983.
Care. Whether it's your business or your family's health, the more care you put in, the better it will be. United Healthcare knows the difference care can make. It's why we offer plans that support your physical and mental health. And it's why we connect you to care whenever you need it with 24/7 virtual care. Because, like you, United Healthcare knows what care can do. United Healthcare. Plan benefits may vary.
Walgreens has always been there to help make your healthcare easier. From making sure you have the prescriptions you need to answering any questions you have about them. Now, the question is whether you have the right Medicare plan. And we're here to help make that easier too. Walgreens can save you money and peace of mind with copays as low as $0. Visit walgreens.com/Medicare today to see how. Walgreens. We make Medicare easy. $0 copay on Tier 1 generic drugs when enrolled in a plan with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy.
Hi, this is Steve Greenfield with a Real Country News Update. Newly confirmed Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett is vowing to be an independent voice on the High Court. After being sworn in by Justice Clarence Thomas, she stressed the importance of judges remaining outside the sway of politics.
A judge declares independence not only from Congress and the President, but also from the private beliefs that might otherwise move her.
With the conservative Barrett on the court, it now has a 6-3 conservative majority. A listeria outbreak across 3 states has the CDC advising those at high risk for infection to avoid eating deli meat unless it's been thoroughly heated first. 10 people in New York, Massachusetts, and Florida have come down with cases of the bacterial infection so far. All but one of the victims reported having eaten Italian-style meats like salami. New York State is launching a Mask Up campaign with the Real and top fashion designers. Over the next few weeks, you can purchase masks designed by Alice and Olivia, Michael Kors, Public School, and Rag & Bone, just to name a few.
You can buy it on the Real, and the top designers are donating their designs, and God bless them.
Governor Cuomo says sales will benefit COVID-19 benefit efforts and help build awareness of the need to wear masks. He's urging people to post photos on Instagram with the hashtag #MaskUp. As the Hudson Valley inches closer to celebrating Halloween, local officials are urging all residents to take caution during the pandemic. Kingston Mayor Steve Noble reminding everyone of this Saturday's 8 p.m. curfew. He's also suggesting community members find different ways to celebrate the holiday, like hosting virtual costume competitions or taking part in a costume car parade. Ulster County residents are still taking advantage of early voting. As of yesterday, officials say more than 7,600 residents have hit the polls, with Kingston reporting the most votes so far at just over 2,000. For Real Country Radio, I'm Steve Greenfield.
On 920 WGHQ, 1260 WBNR, 1420 WLNA, 92.5 and 96.5 FM, this is Real Country Traffic.
I'm Susie Cerrone with Real Country Traffic. We've got a problem in the Peekskill, Cortland area. An accident with injuries on Bear Mountain Bridge Road. It is right between the Scenic Overlook and the Bear Mountain Bridge. So far, it's really not affecting the Bear Mountain Bridge. We're good to go on the Mid-Hudson Bridge, the Newburgh Beacon Bridge as well. A little busy on 84 eastbound, passing 52. No issues on the Taconic. 9W looks good from Highland down to Newburgh. No delays on Route 17 east or westbound from the Thruway in Harriman to 84 in Middletown. Thruway is clear between Orange and Ulster County. Traffic is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MADD. Visit madd.org.
Hi, I'm Steve Williams with the Real Country AccuWeather forecast. You might bump into some patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, a cloudy day. High today 56. Clouds this evening. It'll be partly cloudy late, low 44. Partly sunny day tomorrow. The high near 58. Thursday, we could get a bit wet. Periods of rain. Some of that could be heavy from tropical rainstorm Zeta. The high Thursday 51. Raining colder on Friday with the daytime high 40. For Real Country Radio, I'm Steve Williams.
This is Doc Rick of When Your Health Matters radio show. I always appreciate your time and for tuning in. You can now listen to us on our weekly radio show on Saturdays at 7 a.m. and Sundays at 7 a.m. My hope is you will continue to listen, and we will continue on our journey of proactive health when your health matters. So join me on Saturday or Sundays at 7 a.m. for When Your Health Matters.
Check in with Doc Rick Hontoon for When Your Health Matters, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. on Real Country.
From Catskill to Peekskill and all points in between.
Real Country.
A farmer and a teacher, a hooker and a preacher, riding on a midnight bus bound for Mexico. One was headed for vacation, one for higher education, and two of them were searching for lost souls. That driver never ever saw the stop sign, and 18-wheelers can't stop on a dime. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not 4 of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. That farmer left to harvest a home and 80 acres, the faith and love for growing things in his young son's heart. And that teacher left her wisdom in the minds of lots of children, and did her best to give them all a better start. And that preacher whispered, "Can't you see the promised land?" as he lay his bloodstained Bible in that hooker's hand. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not 4 of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. That's the story that our preacher told last Sunday as he held that bloodstained Bible up for all of us to see. He said, "Bless the farmer and the teacher and the preacher who gave this Bible to my mama, who read it to me." There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not 4 of them, now I guess we know. It's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway.
All the stations up here that don't sign off with Dixie, the way they did in Sweet Home Alabama, and the people here don't sip Jack Daniel's whiskey the way they do in the Tennessee and porcupine. Well, if this is the promised land, I've had all I can stand. Wish I was down in Houston town tonight. Now I just don't fit in and I'll never come back again. But I'm lusted here, I got Dixie on my mind. Lord, I'm stuck up here, got Dixie on my mind.
There's Hank Williams Jr. Got some Dixie on my mind Tuesday morning style with Tom Lang. Well, here's something I didn't know, and I'll pass it along to you. Maybe you didn't even know about it. But Donald Trump, our current president, and our former president, Barack Obama, and presidents before them have one thing in common besides being president. They have to hand over the keys to their car for the rest of their lives. Former presidents aren't allowed to drive on public roads for security reasons. Instead, their Secret Service teams drive them everywhere.
Care. Whether it's your business or your family's health, the more care you put in, the better it will be. United Healthcare knows the difference care can make. It's why we offer plans that support your physical and mental health. And it's why we connect you to care whenever you need it with 24/7 virtual care. Because, like you, United Healthcare knows what care can do. United Healthcare. Plan benefits may vary.
Walgreens has always been there to help make your healthcare easier. From making sure you have the prescriptions you need to answering any questions you have about them. Now, we're here to help make Medicare easier too. Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy with many plans, including United Healthcare, which can mean copays as low as $0 for you. Talk to a Walgreens pharmacist today. Walgreens, we make Medicare easy. $0 copay on Tier 1 generic drugs when enrolled in a plan with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Walgreens accepts other plans.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and as you know, I'm a huge fan of Metamucil, and I have some news to share. Metamucil now has a delicious fiber gummy made by the #1 doctor-recommended fiber supplement brand. These gummies are a convenient way to get more fiber. That's because Metamucil fiber gummies are made with an exclusive blend of prebiotic plant-based fibers that give you 5 grams of fiber in each serving. I want you to promote your digestive health by trying new Metamucil gummies today.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? Yes. It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. That's babbel.com, BABBEL.com.
When the coronavirus struck your community, what if you had no soap or masks, no food or proper shelter, no access to medical care? This is the reality for the world's most vulnerable people. They have no safety net for this crisis. But there is hope. Children International is helping provide children and families in poverty with the critical essentials they need to survive now. Food assistance, hygiene education, medical health, and financial support. We're working around the clock to keep children, their families, and their communities safe during this pandemic and in the weeks and months to come. We won't give up until every child we serve is safe and dreaming of a bright future. To learn more, go to children.org/help today. You can help children and families get through this crisis.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
The need has always been there. The need for food, shelter, compassion. This year, it just happens to be greater. If you need help, please reach out. If you can give help, please reach within. In a year with fewer red kettles, your $25 monthly donation helps rescue Christmas for the most vulnerable. Enlist in Love's Army at GiveWestwood.org.
Welcome to the biggest country music library in the Hudson Valley. This is Real Country Radio 92.5 and 96.5.
Driving down the interstate, running 30 minutes late, singing Margaritaville and minding my own. Some foreign car driving dude with a road rage attitude pulled up beside me talking on his cell phone. He started yelling at me like I did something wrong. He flipped me the bird and then he was gone. Some beach somewhere, there's a big umbrella casting shade over an empty chair. Palm trees are growing and warm breezes blowing. I picture myself right there on some beach somewhere. I circled the parking lot trying to find a spot just big enough I could park my old truck. A man with a big cigar was getting into his car. I stopped and I waited for him to back up. But from out of nowhere a Mercedes-Benz came cruising up and whipped right in some beach somewhere. There's nowhere to go and you got all day to get there. There's cold margaritas and hot senoritas smiling with long dark hair on some beach somewhere. Well, I sat in that waiting room, it seemed like all afternoon. The nurse finally said, "Doc's ready for you. You're not gonna feel a thing. We'll give you some Novocaine. That tooth will be fine in a minute or two." Then he stuck that needle down deep in my gun and he started drilling before I was numb. Some beach somewhere, there's a beautiful sunset burning up the atmosphere. There's music and dancing and lovers romancing the salty evening air on some beach somewhere. On some beach somewhere.
Gotta have some beach somewhere, there's a place sheltered for you. All those friends in the lowest places of low turn out to be the best friends of all, don't they? Here's Garth Brooks.
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. The last one to know, the last one to show, I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. And I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. I'm not big on social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis. So I've got friends in low places. Well, I guess I was wrong. I just don't belong. But then I've been there before. Everything's alright. I'll just say goodnight and I'll show myself to the door. Hey, I didn't mean to cause a big scene. Just give me an hour and then well, I'll be as high as that ivory tower that you're never down. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. Yeah, I'm not big on social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis. So I've got friends in low places. I've got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. I'm not big on social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis. So I've got friends in low places. I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay.
92.5, 96.5.
Real country.
My name you will find on the tail of my shirt. I'm a Tennessee hustler, never do work. I kiss a different woman with the fall of each dew. Always singing these good woman blues. I've been playing music back in Tennessee. All the women there, Lord, that think the world of me. Memphis and Nashville, Chattanooga too. Always singing these good woman blues. Good woman blues, Lord, they never get me down. Too many women always around. I strike like the lightning, I'm bringing good news. Always singing these good woman blues.
me down kind. I just keep on walking with my traveling shoes, always singing these good woman blues. Well, sunny California, I can hear you call. Got more women there than a freight train can haul. Your warm red wine and your sun is good news, always singing these good woman blues. Good woman blues, Lord, never get me down. Too many women always around. I strike like the lightning and I'm bringing good news, always singing these good woman blues.
Visit YMCA.net. GHQ, 1260 WBNR, 1420 WLNA, 92.5 and 96.5 FM. This is...
Good morning. You're now listening to Kingston Community Radio, airing on FM 92.5 and AM 920 WGHQ, Kingston, New York. This programming is brought to you by our listeners and corporate underwriters who are interested in presenting local community radio. The opinions expressed on this program do not represent those of Pamel Broadcasting or Kingston Community Radio. Listeners are encouraged to send in $10 per month to help bring this program to you. Mail your contributions to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. For more information or to donate online, visit our website at mykcr.org. And good morning, this is Dan Gatis, and thank you for being with us, being an early bird like us, and being a part of today's program. And especially thank you for being with us right at 7 a.m. This is Tuesday, October 27th, and 46 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. And the sun is going to rise at 7:23. We have 23 more minutes before the sun actually rises. And today, mainly cloudy, a high of 54, 20% chance of some rain. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 33. Wednesday, 50% chance of showers in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, high 59. And Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies in the evening, then cloudy overnight, low 41. Thursday is a 90% chance of showers early, becoming a steady rain later. And Thursday night is a 90% chance of rain, also with a low of 34. So Thursday is rain day. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Hi, this is Diane Eastwick from Athens, New York, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And thank you for supporting Kingston Community Radio with our radiothon, and we made our goal of $12,000 this year, and we thank you for that. And no better time to announce the Happy Christmas Fund, which is happening next Thursday, a week from Thursday, on November 5th at Boyce's Dairy Milk House, 62 O'Neill Street. Tune in. It'll be a great and very, very fun day, all day from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And without further ado, let's get to the on-air studio. Today is a terrific Tuesday. And welcome, folks. How are you?
Good morning. Sorry, we are gabbing away.
We are.
We are joined right from the get-go by Bill Merchant, our monthly, our other historian. We have two monthly historians, Nancy Shando and Bill, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
we have a lot of great historians in the area.
All right, well, question, what would you call yourself? If you were to introduce yourself at a function, you say, I'm a historian, I'm a curator?
I am a curator. I don't know.
would you say?
Do I lead with it? Depends on the audience, I suppose, doesn't it?
There you go.
I'm the deputy director for collections, historian and curator, but
it's a mouthful.
Yeah. It is a mouthful.
And one thing, at
7 o'clock on a Tuesday morning that's still dark and rainy.
I'm in the museum business.
Well, I want to add IT guy because I'm guiding so many board members through Zoom meetings and how to use their computers.
Yeah.
All that, so.
But,
I had another title.
Well, shout out to you for doing that because so many people before this were not able to really even utilize a computer, and now they're on there, they're meeting, they're Zooming, and so good for you.
We're actually having a wine tasting. In fact, I should put out a plug for it with Kevin Zraley. Do you know who Kevin is?
He's wonderful. I went to one of his wine tastings.
Well, you still have 2 days. The 28th we close. It's $150. It's 4 wines are sent to your house. And he'll do this tasting. They've been very successful. I've been to a couple of his tastings. It's online on Zoom. If you go to my website, the canalmuseum.org, we've got a wine tasting page, and you can sign right up there until the 28th.
So is there a list of the wines that he's going to have so you can pre-buy them? And
Well, no, they actually, your $150, they send you the wine. We joined wine.com, so that includes the wines. And the wines will be good ones. I think about $100 is going towards the wine. So it's more of a fundraiser than a fundraiser.
And when are they doing it?
It's November 7th.
Okay.
I forget the time. Isn't that horrible? But it's on the website.
So it's a Saturday night?
Yeah. We decided, give people something to do. We've got a pretty decent lineup, but there's no limit to the numbers that we can have.
Oh, and he's wonderful.
Well, he's
I've gone to his
one of the
wine
most
tasting.
popular sommeliers in America.
Yeah.
Winners in the world. He's
I have his books.
sought after author on the board at the CIA, but he got his start at the Depew Canal House under John Novi. He knew nothing about wine except that he liked it, and he trained himself and was their first sommelier and sort of went on from there. So he's very invested, like so many of the people that work with us. They come to love they've got personal reasons to love the project. They either live in the area, like Rick Alfondre, our architect.
Yeah, the one I attended was a fundraiser also, and it was for the 9/11 memorial in Newport. And of course, he is very committed to that because of the restaurant, the Top of the World there.
Windows of the World.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
And that's where he worked and everything that happened. And he just adds so much humor and yet so much information as he does it. It was a wonderful fundraiser, and it was for the 9/11 memorial. So he does a lot for the community.
Well, like historians, these sorts of subjects can be dry. So it's good to know what you're talking about, but it's also nice if you're entertaining. And I think Kevin really
is
successful because he's got he's very affable and he's always a laugh or three in there, and then there's great wines.
Yeah, and you're supporting the Canal House.
Yeah. Yes, getting more support towards the project.
Yeah, great.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, well, we're glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for.
Exactly. Plug. Well, while we're at it, anything else?
The other thing is that, and you don't know how to talk about this, but we had a kind of a challenge from a gentleman who wants to be anonymous, but who gave us $10,000 seed money. We're trying to sign up 20 people who will just put the Canal Society in their will.
Wow.
Plan giving is very big in what we call development circles. Mm-hmm. Makes sense, Sure. When can you be the most generous? When you can't use your money anymore.
Can't bury it with you.
Go, Bill.
It's an uncomfortable conversation, It's certainly. Oh, what are you doing now when you're gone?
A lot of people do the estate planning.
Yeah, the foundation I work for, they do that.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's as I understand it from people in development, it's a boom. It's a great way to so you see it WAMC, not to talk about another radio here, but they have planned giving. People.
Sure. Well,
and so we're sort of putting our toe in that water and.
Makes sense.
And that was a nice donation that you started with. So
and it's the honor system, but we're supposed to get 20 people. So certainly, I myself don't have a will, and so I'm going to write one and leave some money to the.
That's a good impetus.
Well, there's that as well. It's about time. I'm not in any hurry, but just
No, but,
right now.
It makes things easier on your heirs and relationships and your family.
It does. That is very true. Yeah, so that's great. You know, and with fundraising right now so difficult during COVID, I mean, that's two wonderful initiatives that you have right now that you're doing.
Well, trying to do what we can, you know, and selling our current building is
always helpful.
Falls under fundraising. But, well, you know, Kingston, New York, is it still the hottest real estate market in America?
It seems I've seen no signs.
Not very
of it
close
cooling
too,
off.
right?
And, you know, I've been saying I'm a newcomer to the area. I've only been here since '95. You know,
Yeah, right.
25 years, but, you know, a good chunk of my life. But I've been constantly saying that Kingston is underappreciated. I'm not saying that anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's right. You know,
Yeah. No, very
really
true.
inundated. You know, that really sort of got the ball rolling. We realized
Now, do you have a buyer lined up for your old building, or I imagine the uniqueness of it, and it's a beautiful set. You know, right. Nestled
I
up
think
to
we'll
the
do
hill.
well. I think we'll get over
I can't
asking
imagine
in the
it's
end.
gonna.
Yeah, I think
We've
so.
had some interest, but it's still going to go out on the open market this week.
Yeah.
I think is the.
A
You know,
little
it's
like
still. So I've been furiously. Well, all of my collections are safely ensconced except for 3 large pieces. They're in the new storage facility. I'm looking forward to moving in there. In fact, I'm looking forward to doing some online stuff from there. I realize now I can sit in one room and pull a box and say, what do we got here? You know, I think it'll be fun to
The opportunity to go through some of the things that you wouldn't otherwise do. Yeah.
Well, and I had stopped doing the Sunday afternoon with our historian, which early on in COVID I did every Sunday. And the very
that's a
first time,
commitment.
well, it was a lot of fun.
Right.
But, you know, you don't have to give me an excuse to talk about the D&H Canal. But the very first time I had 2,000 people live. But then it tapered down, and once the world opened up a little bit, I was getting maybe 20 people live, but then you were still reaching 300 or 400. But then as we got busier, you know, we've got 44 video on what we're now dubbing D&H TV. And we're still adding new content
And that's
every...
on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube, and it's linked from our website, canalmuseum.org. And we're constantly adding to that. There's a lot of fun. We've done some time-lapse of both building the storage room and of moving out the collections, which is just me in a van, by the way. But that's the way I wanted it.
Yeah, well.
Oh, yeah, protect the collections, too.
Well, and it was a perfect opportunity we had enough time that I know where everything is. I created inventory lists and finding aids so somebody else could come in and find stuff. And did an inventory because virtually everything is moving out of that building. And there's a few puzzling things not even valuable things, but big things, and I'm scratching my head. I've still got we have some storage in one of the barn buildings on the canal house, and I'm hoping.
What, scratch your head is how they got it down there? Or,
no, where they went to.
The door's only this big.
I'm missing 3 things that I definitely myself cataloged 6 years ago.
So
the
you know
pictures
it's
are
there
there.
somewhere.
And they're big, which is why I think that they were in the house next door that we owned and got moved over to a storage area that I don't get into often enough, but I'm going to have to go chase those down. Nothing like earth-shattering, probably things that, in retrospect, don't necessarily, just material culture of the era that you might argue, none of them have direct. Well, one piece is a wooden chute from the Hunt & Donaldson building in Ellenville. But it's not very exciting. It's just a wooden chute, but it can't, a grain chute. And they had a lot of mules on that. Some. What, 2,000, to peak over 1,000 boats, so 2,000 mules, big business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Sure, definitely.
The horses and mules were valuable. I mean, that was your...
Well, well into the 20th century, even into World War II, there were still equestrian units. They were still using horses.
Yeah.
But we were an amazing, horse culture throughout the 19th century. There's a great story of the Great Epizootic of 1871, I think it was, when the Canadian, this is going to sound familiar, folks, when the Canadian horse flu, I think the China virus, right? Yeah. The Canadian horse flu comes down into America and just spreads like rapidly. It crosses the entire Erie Canal in like 2 weeks. And it causes the Erie Canal to close down prematurely. And I think it was the Buffalo to Rensselaer Company was this company that was buying up buildings along the route and teams of mules. They go out of business. And this destroys America. There's a famous, the fire in the financial district of Boston that year. Why was it so bad? Because they needed horses to pull the fire wagon.
Yeah.
So even though the railroads are ascendant, there's all these canals, we had to have horses. We were so...
What year was this?
1871, I believe.
Okay, so after Civil War, the
70 or 71.
Industrial age is on its infancy.
And it really got me thinking about how much a horse culture we were in the 19th century as we talk about canals, but how did you get the stuff to the railway station?
Yeah.
How did you get it onto the canal? horse and wagon was still the mode of transit.
Yeah, like World War II, the Russians and the Germans depended heavily on animals.
There was an economic depression in America that was fueled by this epizootic. It was nationwide. And it didn't kill. If you gave your animals a rest, about 2 weeks and they were fine again, they would die if you kept working them, apparently. But the deaths weren't high. It was just nobody could go anywhere, if you were responsible. And it amazes me because the D&H Canal people had humanitarians that made sure you didn't mistreat your animals. Yeah, it's nice to know. They also had missionaries. And the only reason I know is my research.
Were the Wirtzes or someone high up in the company? Who was the Quakers?
The Wirtz brothers were Quaker businessmen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But even after they've passed, you see the D&H Canal Company carries on. Well, Morris Wirtz and John Wirtz were both. Morris Wirtz, the whole thing. To me, he's the single most important guy. But his brother John, the second and first successful president, was really important as well. Without them. And so, those guys died by the Civil War era. I think all the Wirtzes are gone. Well, I think one of the nephews is Charles Wirtz is working for the company. But they still close on Sundays. They still give property to any denomination in any town along the route. So across this 108-mile route, they're giving property, land of theirs, to churches to build churches.
Really?
Yeah, and they didn't care about the denomination. They were much.
Do you know are any of those parishes around? Were they, like the Ellenville or Port Jervis?
There were all of them. So I can say definitively in High Falls, the Community Church of High Falls, the Dutch Reformed Church, had their 170. No, what was it? I get my 170th anniversary of the D&H Canal Company giving them their property. 2 or 3. It was in 17. And the actual day that they opened the church was a Sunday. And so I went to the service, and afterwards I did a 20-minute presentation. And what I did is I went and got the names of the people. There was the committee to form the new church. 3 of them worked on the canal, and the 4th one worked for people on the canal, and it shows up in the historic record. It was deeply entrenched, so I talked about one of them was a lock tender, and it was an opening for me to talk about these individuals that formed this church and their connection with the canal.
That'd be interesting to do a deed search to see land that was deeded out of the D&H Canal to these in Ulster County, at least. So maybe we would see
basically all the way down 209, essentially.
Yes, exactly. All those towns, they probably all did better in the 19th century with the canal coming through than they do today, right?
Right, yeah.
I've never bothered to even research that. I'm sure that was true, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to get to the archives sometime to see what sort of gold you must have there. You have some great facility. I've been fortunate enough to tour it a couple of years ago. You invited probably 30 local historians came by to visit it.
Yes, right. That's absolutely.
In fact, I went to the wrong building first. I had no idea you had that wonderful big building on Foxhall there.
Yeah. So our building on Foxhall Avenue is one where the archives is actually stored, and that's where all the research material is and so forth. If you come into the county clerk's office, that's where you have all your land records, your deeds, your mortgages, and so forth. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. You should, when you have the opportunity, because it's amazing. And even for ourselves, the further we get into researching, the more we realize how much we have that we haven't even made available yet. That's in the archives, and we're slowly going through everything. And we're excited because we're rolling out a new website, which is going to be great because the search engine, you'll be able to search on just keywords. You'll be able to search so many different ways, which right now you're very limited in your searching when you go onto our databases on our website as it is now.
Yeah.
But with our new software, it really will make you could take like the census records and break it down into heads of the household, or which now you really can't. You can search names and so forth. So it'll be great. It's wonderful. But you're right, Bill. When you were talking about moving, and I'm going to date myself a little bit, but when we moved out of the county office building back in '86, the county clerks were. Yeah.
Right, to this building.
To this building right here. Yeah, we did. So it was for asbestos removal. Every single record that the county clerk's office owned, archival or just current records, was in the county office building. So that was quite a job, and most of that was moved to Iron Mountain, and that was the beginning of us starting our records management program and so forth, and getting a facility. And here was the first actually off-site storage facility. Once we moved back to the county office building, we made this the record center, and then from there we built the one over on Foxhall Avenue. But you're right. When you start moving things, how you start to identify what you have and what you realize, where is it? But also, I don't remember that we had that.
Yeah, you discover.
Certain legal documents have to be maintained forever. There's property, things.
Yeah,
which
deed records back to 1655. Yeah.
Which fortunately, that the fact that those things have to exist has helped the historical timeline throughout. It's such a tool. Finding out who owned what, where, when.
Yeah, when you think the original Dutch
if
records.
things were willy-nilly for the last 500 years, who knows? No one would know who. There'd be no clear title or whatever. So
yeah,
it's very interesting when you think about.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's amazing. Yeah, and even the court records, they're so interesting. So they reflect the time in history, like what was important at that time, what people were prosecuted for, what people sued one another, because their cow came over the. I mean, it's just amazing when you read the court records. Really give you a glimpse into the life during those time frames. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, you're right.
Neat,
we try to make exhibits around that type of thing to make people really understand. Like you talk about the canal all the time and life working on the canal, being part of the canal, how the canal impacted communities. It's amazing.
I was researching the Depews because we're in the Depew Canal House. So Simeon and his son Jacob, in Ulster County Historical, it's probably how I got invited on the board. I went there and they had 100 documents, many of them legal documents, and they were so enlightening, involving one or the other of the Depews.
Question. I've seen Depew, D-E-P-U-E-Y, and D-E-P-E-W. Which?
Well, so what? So people also say, was it Depuy or Depew?
Yeah.
This question comes up a lot. My take on that is, in those records, you'll find in the 18th century. So you always had alternate spellings. In the 17th century, they're legion. They're in the same document, you'll see names spelt proper names spelt 2 and 3 different ways. In the 18th century. The alternate spellings were very often D-E-P-U-I-S or French, Depuis.
Okay.
When you get into the 19th century, very early on, now it's P-E-W. So my surmise then is that I like to say it's the Depew Canal House, not the Depuis Canal House, since it's the 19th century and not the 18th century.
Okay, huh. That's cool. All right, that's good.
And similarly, Morris Wirtz is spelled Maurice, but it's come down to us probably from people who knew him, that's pronounced Morris. So the cognoscenti, we know to say Morris.
Right. Yeah.
That's like
it's like Houston and Houston down in New York.
Your personal valet. It's not a valet. Valets drive the things around this car. Valets help you get dressed in the morning.
Well, I've not me, but all right. Maybe you
nor I. Is there dog hair on it? Yep, I dress myself. So I would imagine. Well, let's spin back. I was thinking, Bill Merchant, because usually I don't look at the schedule. I just come in and whoever's here is here. But to say, I was like, come on, I wonder who's on radio today. So you were. I was thinking, what can we talk about with Bill? I would imagine fall would be the busiest season for the canal, loading up coal in New York for the winter, or.
I suppose, but I think it was a year round because they were limited. So typical navigation was April through early December. And they said, this is why railroads were destined to overtake the canals, because you needed the coal in the winter when you actually couldn't get it. So you had to get in your stores. But the problem was that railroads didn't develop the capacity to carry heavy weight until later on. So early on, passengers, there's some historians that claim there were no packet boats in the D&H. Packet boat carried mail and passengers. In fact, I guarantee you there were packet boats. We just don't have pictures. Because by the time photography becomes prevalent, it starts in the mid-1840s, but it's not really common until the Civil War era. I think Matthew Brady and the like. Well, now everybody's using the railroads.
That wasn't just clicking snapshots. That was, multiple. That was photography.
Right.
You had to hold still. They couldn't get
the boat. Famously, a lot of Matthew Brady's photographs were staged.
Yes.
Because real life isn't quite as artistic as Yeah. But can you imagine? In this case, they're moving casualties.
That's the important part. That they exist.
Yeah. No, we're very fortunate. I'm doing a presentation for the Bloomfield Library in Cold Spring, of all things, today. A long one, an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Boy, what am I going to do?
How
will I ever?
That wasn't on.
No, not at all. Not at all. So I'm going to talk about its connection as much as I can, its connection to the Hudson River. Whenever I do, my main D&H history is the D&H Canal, 19th century engine of prosperity. But I always sort of lean it this way, if I'm talking in one locale, I'll try and talk about the area. So I presented for Schoharie Crossings, the state site that's mainly an Erie Canal site, was it last month? And so I did a presentation that tied in all the members of the Erie Canal, so because there's a whole bunch of connections.
That's
So in this one, I'll be
6
talking.
degrees of separation.
I'll connect it to the Hudson River. They didn't care they didn't ask for that, but especially.
All right, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but is there a cold spring in Cold Spring?
That's a good
is there
question.
Like in Saratoga,
there must be. There must be, because those names aren't. It's like
Yeah.
Stone Dock Road. A local claimed that the Davenport that owned that property just liked the name. No, that's
There
not.
was a
There
dock.
was a bluestone loading dock there. I know where it was. I can show you. It's right at the corner of Stone Dock and Burn
Quarry
Road.
Street. Why do they call it Quarry Street? It's
And somebody else said, well, why there? Well, the reason was, as they built the canal, you've got all these streams. You're building in a riverbed. You've got all these little creeks and freshets coming through. Very often they just capture that water. And in fact, where the Bluestone dock was, there's a little stream to this day. In fact, it now goes through the old canal bed, and they've dammed it up, and there's a little pond right on the Stone Dock Golf Course. And I can tell you,
yeah.
in the historic era, that water came in and didn't leave. But what happened on those points, you're digging a canal, there's naturally spots where it's deeper there. There's another smaller river valley. So you're running along, then all of a sudden there's going to be a naturally occurring basin. Well, the canal company didn't bring in a bunch of fill. They just let the water fill there. And so what that meant are these spots that then people would take advantage of down the line, spots where it was easy to get a boat out of the way. And the canal company was even though they were a coal company, they really wanted to encourage other users of the...
Sure, freight's freight, right? You're charging about a pound or a ton or whatever, so...
To the point that in High Falls, when they rerouted it in the final enlargement in 1850, parts of it was so much rock, it was going to be too much blasting to get the level of either side down to the level of the canal. Well, this wouldn't be a problem, except that they found out boats started fouling their lines. It was hard enough for two boats to cross. Now you're 8 and 10 foot above the water level.
Oh, yeah.
And so they have two towpaths there. Starting at where Berman and Canal Road meet, there was a bridge there, so that's where they had two all the way to across the Rondout Creek. But I have letters from the chief engineer saying now nobody can load on the berm side, and so he gets them to build two loading keys, one of which is extant, the other one is the basement of the High Falls Firehouse. And you go in that basement, and you're looking at like 1852 stonework.
Really?
Wow.
You took advantage of the
Basically,
wow.
we saved them the cost of excavation.
Yeah,
Right.
that's really cool.
It
And so they put in loading keys so that materials could be loaded off. And we know that on one side they brought up cement from the mill down in the falls. They even had a mule-pulled railway on the old canal bed. They offloaded coal for the local, cement companies and the local people to use. And then on the firehouse side, it was just all wood products. It's
All
where they
that
stored
right in
repair
that
wood.
little stretch there by Stone Dock. Huh.
Well, no, this would be now behind the canal house.
Oh, okay.
But now the Stone Dock water came in, and so my point was that little creek, there was a basin there because that creek was coming through there. And so the stone guys came through and said, oh, here, we can pull boats.
The companies and engineers, they diverted every drop of water that was near into the canal, didn't they?
Whenever you have water higher than the canal, you got it into the canal. That's it.
They did whatever.
Well, that actual...
Imagine they had to do environmental reports and all that.
Oh, yeah, no, they couldn't do it anywhere near as cheaply as
They
they
did what they wanted back
that's
then,
it. They got a lot of... That's true.
They ran roughshod, probably.
But that little creek was the sole water source until the other side of it. So for 5, 6 locks, actually for 6, 7, 8 locks, from Stone Dock Road all the way to the other side of the Rondout Creek, that was the only water source. And all those locks, 5 minutes, they're locking through. They're open 24 hours a day at certain periods.
They needed a lot of water.
They needed a lot of water, and yet they got it all just from that one source. And then they had a dam.
Where did that water go? That much water doesn't flow through there now.
No, it doesn't.
Like where'd it go?
Well,
Does it rain more back
they were
then?
capturing a lot of it, and so the feeder down on the summit level is no longer operating. The Nature Conservancy destroyed that. That's a whole other horrible story. Down in Cutterbackville, for the entire 20th century, they had wonderful big basin, and there's a trail right alongside it. And we're closing in again. How does this happen?
I know, Bill.
But they had it watered throughout the 20th century, and then the Nature Conservancy wanted to save a mussel, and they took out one of the 2 dams that were diverting, and they said, oh, you'll still have water. You look at the maps, and you've got to say, what were they thinking? And what do you know? They've dried it out, and now it's going to take a huge effort. The county owns the land, and they're not really that interested. They've spent some money on an engineering report. But this was a thing where people would ice skate and swim, and they used it as a water source for the fire department until 1990 and I support people like the Nature Conservancy, but here's one where they really fell off, and they didn't save the mussel either.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, right.
I was the only guy at one of the first meetings to go, how did the mussel do? Oh, the next 100-year storm, they're gone,
Yeah.
And they're talking about historic spawning grounds, and I'm going, nothing got past there after 1826 when those dams were built. So I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not that historic.
Yeah, exactly,
In the geological record, it's just
Yeah.
spawning ground. Well, look, we got to go. Bill, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
Thank you.
Bill. Have a good month. We'll see you next month.
Well, hopefully I'll see you.
Yeah, we'll see you before.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
All right. Cool. All right,
You have a
Dan.
wonderful.
Thank you. Boy, does a month go fast. And thank you very, very much, Bill Merchant, for coming today to a terrific Tuesday. And you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. My name is Dan Gatis, and it is 7:30 a.m. Tuesday, October 27th, and 46 degrees here in uptown Kingston. And today it'll be mainly cloudy with a high of 54. Sunrise was at 7:23 a.m. It's a high of 54 today. Slight 20% chance of rain today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 33. Wednesday, a 50% chance of showers in the morning. Then partly cloudy in the afternoon with a high of 59. Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies in the evening. Then cloudy overnight, low 41. And Thursday, a 90% chance of showers early, becoming a steady rain late and a high of 48. And Thursday night, a 90% chance of rain again overnight on Thursday and a low of 34. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to The Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, and, of course, companionship. Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Eleanor Arrow from the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And we're back, and you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM from 7 to 9 a.m. every weekday. And today is a terrific Tuesday, October 27th, 46 degrees here in uptown Kingston. This portion of Kingston Community Radio is being brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. Main office, 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston. WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is happening this Thursday, a week from today, a week from this coming Thursday, the 5th of November. Starts at 7 a.m. and goes all the way to 5 p.m. The WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund happens at Boyce Dairy Milk House. It'll be aired all day long. It's a live event, and we really, really hope that you'll be with us because we're all there. And let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina and Cam.
We're all there.
Dan.
Sometimes.
Yes, we will all be there.
Always spiritually, sometimes not mentally, right?
There you go.
Hosts, guests, and staff will all be at the Boyce Dairy Milk House.
Yep. November. That's next Thursday.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
isn't
Thursday
that
a week.
amazing?
Quick half hour. We got the home run, or not the home run shift, the home stretch.
Home stretch, we do. And for me, it's always the start of the holiday season.
Yes, totally.
Right? It's that kickoff, gets you into the holiday spirit.
Now, who knows what this holiday season?
I know.
I hadn't really thought about it personally. Well, we're just hopefully Dr. Roberts will be calling in, so we're just killing time until hopefully he remembers.
Yes.
But yeah, holiday season. You have a big family. I have a small local family, so I mean, we could all fit 6 feet apart in one of our own house. You know, my mom,
Right.
dad, sister, niece,
Right.
nephew. You know.
Yeah.
You got a big family. How are you going to do holidays?
Well,
Split 'em up,
if we
or-
did immediate family, we could. Well, immediate family would be like 14 people, 15
Well, you
people.
go one layer out.
Yeah, then
and you
you're
got
then
30
you're in
people
trouble.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not able to do it. But I thought last year, remember Easter? Easter we weren't
that
able to
was
get
the
together,
first
right? The
pandemic
holiday. Yeah.
And is that Dr. Roberts?
As we live and breathe.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Good morning, Dr. Roberts. You're on the air with Cameron and Nina.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We are
We're
great.
good. How are you?
I am great. I'm actually driving in my car, so I'm not talking on the phone. I'm talking on the speakerphone.
Well, that's good. Very responsible. Yeah, if you could just speak up a little, please. It's a little hard to hear you.
Okay, I'll try to get closer.
Oh, there you go. Now you're hunched over the wheel like.
Yeah, right.
So great. So welcome to the radio. Where are
Yes,
you going
good
in this dark morning?
Well, I had to make a few runs because I had to pick some things up for school, and I was just thought I'd call in on the phone rather than just try to rush into the office.
Excellent. Good.
That's
Be
great.
safe.
How's everything going?
Yeah, everything's going fine. You know, we've had a couple of interesting weeks. Our gala was a huge success, which we were surprised. We had set a $50,000 goal, and there was a lot of people skeptical whether we would get there. And we actually ended up with 104,000.
Holy cow.
Oh my gosh.
Nearly double. Well, more than doubled.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
I know.
That's fantastic.
Well, we have a great team. You know, our gala team they start working the day after. They just never stop on this thing.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible
Yeah.
feat, and
I can attest.
it turned out so well.
I can attest to
Mom's
that.
on that, right?
I can attest to that year-round factor of that. You know. So do you know? I don't want to put you on the spot. The number of participants, like was there more people involved because it was virtual than in person? How can you gauge that?
What's interesting is, we can see how many hits the website had to view the videos, and actually it was well over 150, which you wouldn't get that many at a gala.
Yeah, at a black tie affair. Wow, that's fantastic. Do you think that increased number of attendees, if you will, led to your financial success, or was it, how were you so financially successful? Do you know?
I don't have any real evidence for it, but I really sense that because we really started the donations 2 weeks in advance and kept them going for a week afterwards. So I think the word might have spread and more people were involved. It was just amazing how it's just unprecedented. You don't know how this stuff is going to work.
Yeah.
I was kidding with Lorraine, our foundation director. I said, maybe we never go back.
Yeah.
I know.
We stay with a virtual.
Yeah. Well, it is certainly convenient, if you will, not having to, travel somewhere, get a babysitter, get dressed up, take your suit to the cleaner, whatever. To do it from the comfort of your home, and having a longer window is possible, as opposed, a venue, you have it for one night.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that maybe you're right. You never return to that quote unquote normal banquet style thing, whatever.
Well, we could have a hybrid. We could have part virtual and part in person.
Yeah.
You look at for the silver lining in some of these clouds. We never know. But even that, it's going to net us a larger gain because the additional expenses of renting the venue and all the other expenses that go along with it
Yeah.
aren't there.
Right.
All the
So it's
logistics, the
pretty
name
much-
tags, and whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
Huh. That's great.
that's fantastic.
So what you said you had a couple things this month. What else was successful?
Well, we were also surprised that we were recognized as the Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year. Which,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's congratulations.
Yes.
Well,
thank you. We were shocked. We never thought we would be considered a. Well, I guess we are a large business.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, with, in terms of, you're an employer, you're a purchaser of goods and services.
You educate
you're-
the community.
Yeah, you're delivering a service, so. Do you know, I hate to put you on the spot again, but the economic impact of the community college in Ulster County through payroll and services, is there any way you could stab a number at that?
Well, it's our annual budget is $28 million, and there's a multiplier of 7, which
Wow.
would be the economic impact.
Huh. That's
amazing.
Yeah. That is
Getting over $100. So
well, that by far makes you one of the largest businesses in the county.
Yes,
I'm
it
sure.
does.
I'm sure. Well, a recognition.
We were thrilled, and it was just something that really not something we had expected. So.
No. Well, a recognition well deserved.
Yes, absolutely.
It may seem, out of the, not a traditional, Viking Industries type business of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And you had your Hall of Fame, right, this past month also?
I'm sorry, you broke up. I didn't.
That's okay. The Hall of Fame, that was also this past month. Your inductees into the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame?
Your alumni Hall of Fame with John DeGasperis and
Oh yes. Oh, the Alumni Hall of Fame. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
I thought you were thinking sports.
Yeah, we brought in 6 new inductees into our Hall of Fame. Incredible folks. Really, it was a wonderful event. Again, it's virtual. And we asked everyone to do selfies, and they come in and we put together videos. And now we have them downstairs, which are running on a loop. So whenever you come into our main lobby, you can see our new 6 inductees with their story.
Yeah, I
Sad
thought the
part is
videos.
Nobody comes to our campus right now.
Yeah, the videos were great, and it was a wonderful way to introduce each of the honorees, and they tell their personal stories. And like you said, now you can use that going forward, which is wonderful. I enjoyed listening to the videos and listening to each of the honorees. I thought it was excellent.
We have our film editors are getting so good here. I knew a couple folks in the community who are professionals. They've been working with our team, and our team has kind of elevated the way they've done these productions to the point that, golly, I'm telling you, they're pretty darn good, as well as any professional could do.
So that was all done in-house, Doctor?
I'm sorry, Nina?
That was all done in-house, all your, virtual presentations?
It's about 50-50.
Okay.
We do a lot of the raw edits, or raw footage, and we work with an outside guy, Tim Miller, Big Chief Productions, and he kind of polishes them up at the end. But reduce the cost of producing any of that by 50%, which is, that's a great savings. It's an expense to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was professional. It was extremely professional. Yeah, no, which was great. Boy, you had a busy month.
Yeah, and enrollment, we're down in enrollment, but we kind of expected that. So that's not, we're really looking forward. What was amazing is we have an outreach enrollment management team, and they went through and are kind of looking, where we might have lost students. And there was over 900 students who had applied and were ready and were accepted that just never followed through.
Wow. Now, if they had done that, would that have represented a growth or a?
Actually, it would have been.
Wow.
We would have beat our budgeted number if.
I mean, you must admit, at the time, there's still a lot of uncertainty at that point in the when the semester first started.
Yes.
So,
and I really think that was the issue.
Yeah, I mean, within not with I'm saying beside like the collegiate setting, in people, each individual's personal lives is probably job status, school status. So,
right.
It's not surprising that the number is off, and honestly, it's not as off as you think it would be.
Yeah, and with the virtual learning too, that was a whole new way of taking a course, and people were hesitant about that, and how was that going to work? So I think that will turn around come January. Are you getting that feel at the college?
We opened registration on Monday for spring semester.
Okay.
And the first thing we did is we opened it to our existing students, let them have the first choice on their developing the schedule. But what we're going to do now is reach out to those 900 students who we already have in the pipeline. So we're really encouraged with that. If they've already showed the interest, they've already gone through the paperwork. I think that's a target market that we can't miss right there. So we're really looking forward to the spring semester.
Now, are you gearing up for more in-person, or do you not? I mean, that's normal. Your normal, I should say, gear up. Your normal procedure would be full in-person. Do you have does anyone have a? Does it matter if it's virtual or in person, or doesn't it matter to you?
It doesn't matter to us. And the fact is, we've really gotten good at the virtual. We were able to put together the fall schedule, well, I'll back up a little bit. When someone that registered for a class in the fall, they really weren't sure exactly how it was going to be delivered. They didn't, most of them thought it'd be remote, but what does that really mean? Asynchronous, synchronous, blended. We're to the point now, before you register, we've developed a system that the student will know exactly how it will be delivered. And we really think that's going to mean so much to the students. And there's eight different ways that we can deliver a course, and each instructor over the last, it's almost 2 semesters they've been working on this, have developed, what they feel comfortable and can give them the best learning opportunity for the students. So I think that's going to pay dividends on it, definitely.
Doc, you can't see us. You're not here. But you said 8 different ways to deliver a course, and Nina and I both turned our head. And we're like, I think Dan too, we were like, 8? You can see.
I wrote it down. I would love to know the list.
Yeah, yes. I mean, that's amazing, the flexibility there. It's, wow, holy cow.
Well, if we just put together a matrix with the 8 different categories, and if you click on our website sometime when you got a minute, you can see it. It's really well done.
There you go, Dan.
And
you click on it, you can check that out. Yeah, no, that's kudos to your staff for being able to visualize, and that's just awesome.
That is absolutely amazing.
It shows you the flexibility that our instructors can really, are capable, when put to the task. Couldn't be any prouder of them. They're just, they're working, surprisingly, they're working, harder than they've ever worked.
Yeah, well, it's good.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm sorry, Nina.
That's good.
And speaking of staff, is your full staff on site, or is it remote? Is it mixed?
It's mixed, and we rotate. Some days we have our front office rotate every other day.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Then we have payroll usually comes in on a staggered, but usually 3 or 4 days before payroll hits, they have to be here to do some manual process. So they make sure that they're distanced. But what we have now is we're doing the surveillance pooling, which is really interesting. I was just tested last Wednesday and came across negative. I'm real happy. But what we do is we put people into cohorts. And like my schedule for testing is on Wednesdays every other week. And what I'll go in is they pick, I'm in one pool, but nobody else around my office is put in that pool. Because if I were to come out positive and somebody else negative, if we were both in the same pool, if one of us were positive, we all have to go. So we kind of shut down offices. So we stagger the pools in order to keep the business operation running. So, I go in, and they give you a swab, and you just rub it on either side of your cheek and then your gum line. Then you insert it into a tube, you shake it 10 times, then you hand it to a professional. They label it, they take your swab, and they put it into a container, and there's 12 people who have done that same process in these tubes. And the tubes are all put into one tube, and they send that tube to Upstate in Syracuse, Upstate University Medical Center. And within 24 hours, we'll get, if anybody in that pool was positive or negative, we get that result right online. If somebody is negative, then they take the swabs of the entire 12 and they test each one of those swabs to find out who the individual was that was positive.
Oh.
Within 12 hours, and that person is then required to go and have an additional test.
I see. Okay, that explanation makes sense now. It's like a bracket narrowing down. Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting, and the cost isn't. They bill your insurance $15, and and we pay the difference. So it's the cost to us is much more than we had budgeted. It's going to be about $90,000. But it makes people feel secure.
Yeah,
It's amazing. When I got back and I had a negative test. I kind of felt like, ooh, I'm doing things right.
Yes, absolutely. Keep it up. Now, how long do you think into the future was this going to occur? Probably through the winter?
We're going to go into, we've been asked by the chancellor, kind of a strong ask, that we keep the surveillance going right into the spring semester. And until, we get through the holidays, we don't have the exact answer. But right now we're planning to do the same thing we did in the fall and the spring.
Through the first of the year. Now are all SUNY schools, administrations doing this?
All SUNY schools are doing this.
Wow.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and now I know, like, a lot of the colleges come Thanksgiving break, then the students are done for the semester. Is that going to happen at the college also?
Well, they're not really done. They just go strictly remote. And that's why, it was geared more for the universities where they have dorms, because they really didn't want students to go home for Thanksgiving and then come back.
Come back for a week and...
Yes.
Yeah.
Come back for a few days and, with the possibility of bringing something other than themselves back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So will you go completely remote after Thanksgiving?
Well, we're slowly getting to that point. It won't be completely. We'll have our police training program. Will be probably the only one left that'll finish right up until the end of the semester.
Right on campus, yeah.
And they're at the Kingston Center, and they're all in a cohort. And
they're not in Stone Ridge. Oh, okay. So Stone Ridge will most likely be no students until spring semester.
Right. There'll be just staff will be here at that point in time. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's, we have weekly calls with the chancellor, and, that's his thought. The new chancellor, who works so closely with the governor, is taking this really serious. And he'll go out, if a school will have 2 or 3 cases, he'll be there the next day, and he'll be talking to the president. And there have been one of the university presidents actually resigned because they had a horrible outbreak. So they're taking it serious.
Yeah. Well, good. There's a lot at stake, so.
Yes.
Serious subject, whatever.
Well, and I think it also gives a comfort level to those that are thinking about registering for the spring semester also, when they see the success of what's happening this semester and the precautions that are being taken and the security measures. So I think that all plays a part in the decisions, because like we were saying, it was the unknown in September, and I think come January, at least there's a comfort level there that it was successful. So it all works. Every bit of the testing and, the maintaining the social distancing and so forth, the remote learning,
Cleaning,
sanitizing. Yeah, not an easy job and not easy to implement, but boy, it does really make people feel secure and safe.
Yeah, and I'm feeling the sense of our staff and the students. Everyone, and everyone's really following the rules. I'm walking around campus and I'll see a student across the field, and they're all alone and they still have a mask on. You just think, wow, they're doing the right thing.
That's it.
And,
do you have? Are there people on campus and enforcement people? Shall we say?
Yes, we do. When you enter, every car is stopped, and there's a security officer, actually a police officer, stops and asks a few questions, and then guides you to the one single entrance point we have for everybody. And they have to go through and they get the temperature taken. They'll ask a few questions. They get a wristband that varies in colors every day.
Oh, huh.
You quickly look, and everyone's wearing orange today, and if someone's wearing a different color.
Yeah.
Well, that's smart. That's very smart.
You're ready for when they resume outdoor concerts. You can start having concerts.
That's right.
You got security, you're down. So,
that's interesting because we had, if you know the center of our campus between the two newest buildings, there's that huge staircase.
Yeah.
That's where the music students have been rehearsing out there, and it's really interesting.
Oh, that probably sounds fantastic.
Yeah, they're more than 6 feet apart, and they're all wearing masks. They're singing with masks on, so it's it's an interesting process. But they're being good sports about it. I don't know if I would be as upbeat as they are, but they seem to be more resilient, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's they're hopefully pursuing their dream, and they're
right doing what they love.
And, maybe their happiness is a reflection of the success of the program. So it's it's great.
Yeah, it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
and it probably sounds great too.
Yes.
Well, it was the first day, I didn't realize they were going to be out there in the middle of the day, and I was in my office, and all of a sudden I started hearing singing outside. I go, what is going on? Thought I was losing my mind, so I went out there, and I saw them, and it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that is. That's a great thing to hear. If you're coming onto campus, if you're sitting in your office,
hearing a string quartet rehearsing.
Right?
That's what a fancy place we're here. Great. So, Doctor, we have a couple minutes. Is there any announcements, upcoming deadlines, or anything you'd like to get out there?
Well, probably the most important thing is the registration is open, and anyone who is thinking about doing spring classes, doing continuing ed, now's the time to hit the website. And again, when we talk about this this new guide to classes, you can really feel pretty confident that you can pick the one that's going to meet your need. There's face-to-face requires physical attendance, face-to-face with optional attendance, face-to-face with physical and remote. Three different remotes and a fully online asynchronous. So there'll be something for everybody. I really encourage anyone who's thinking about, now's the time. When you think about it, what a better time to get, take some courses. Even if you're not going to go full time, if you do have the time and you're spending more time at home, with the way they deliver these courses is really truly remarkable.
That's
so now's the time to sign up.
Instead of binge watching some inane show,
that's a great point.
Further your career and your personal philosophy. Yeah,
exactly. Why let a good crisis go without get some benefit from it?
There you go. That's lemonade right there, right? Making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah,
so. Great.
Exactly. So we're ready for the fall, and we got a good assortment. And the thing that we're really not certain about is athletics. We have a plan for the fall that we'll try to, if we get the right approval, we will have some fall sport or springs. We'll have the fall sports in the spring in condensed programs, which would be fun.
Yeah. Well, people look forward to that. It's part of your passion. So, excellent.
Well, we have a number of students that really, that's why they're coming out. They really want to be involved with sports.
Yeah, organized athletics.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
Great. All right. Well,
yeah.
Dr. Roberts, we've
so much.
about reached the top of the hour. We want to thank you very much for calling in, and keep up the good work.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we will fill us in next month. We'll be back.
That's right. Have a good month, Doctor.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you, and I'll talk to you again next month.
Great.
Thank you.
Alrighty. All right, Dan. Look at we're about at the top of the hour, so let's break.
Okay, yes, we are. And thank you, Dr. Alan Roberts of SUNY Ulster, for calling in today. And this is KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. Tuesday, October 27th. 4 more days to Halloween. 46 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston are their main offices. Mainly cloudy today, a high of 54, 20% chance of rain tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 33. Wednesday, 50% chance of showers in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, high of 59. Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies in the evening, then cloudy overnight, low of 41. Thursday, 90% chance of showers in the early part of the day, becoming a steady rain later, a high of 48. Thursday night, 90% chance of rain, a low of 34. And sunrise today was at 7:23 a.m. And we'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. Now it's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. Get free tips to help boost your retirement savings now at aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm Haley Kiyoko, and I know what it's like to struggle with mental health issues. If you have a friend that's going through a tough time, now is the perfect moment to reach out. Learn how to start the conversation at seizetheawkward.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
Hi, this is Eleanor Arrow from the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, Tuesday, October 27th, 46 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. This upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by the Kingston Lions Club, serving the Kingston, Ulster County area since 1941. 901-9067 to get a hold of them, local chapter that connects you to a global force for good. And that is 901-9067. And let's get back to the on-air studio. Got a lot of activity in the on-air studio right now. Welcome back.
All right, we're gabbing away right here.
We are, but we get a lot of good ideas.
Yes,
Cameron,
we're talking
right?
masks. I'm learning all sorts of fashion mask things that, it's the new accessory. So, Ursula and Marjorie, good morning.
Good morning.
Our favorite library president and chairman of the board, or?
President of the library board, yeah.
President of the library board. And then the CEO, I guess?
Director, yeah.
Library director of our Kingston Library right here in beautiful Midtown Kingston. That's
right. And unfortunately, we have no birthdays today, right,
Yeah, we
Cameron?
got
I know. We always like to give
cows.
away that cow pie.
Out of Boyce Dairy, they're sad today.
Yeah, so
Making
sad.
someone's day. brighter with ice cream. But anyhow, support the Boyce Brothers Dairy Milk House anyways. They're great
That's right.
folks, great people, good products. So eat up.
That's right.
So how are you guys? You came in with handouts. I
We
love handouts.
did.
Like going to a convention.
We did, because the kids are all headed back to school in person this week, I think, for Kingston, right? All the younger
We'll see.
students are starting, and
Except my son's got to wait till after Election Day.
Because he's high school, right?
He starts on Tuesday.
So
here.
the little ones are going back now, but
They're only going a couple of days a week. They're not going 5 days a week yet.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
2 days.
Right.
Yeah. 2 teams, 2 days.
Yeah.
So the Ulster County libraries, all of the libraries around the county are headed back in some form or other. They're either hybrid or they're online or in person completely. But the 21 libraries of Ulster County kind of were putting our heads together at late in the summer and said, how do we support this? We are essential education partners. How do we support the schools, the students, the parents throughout the county? And what we decided to do was to subscribe to this product called Tutor.com. And it's an online free tutoring service that the libraries are paying for and providing access to anyone in the county with a library card. And it supports students from kindergarten all the way up through early college, really, and adult. There's even resume and cover letter assistance. So, from kindergartners learning their math to folks looking for jobs and, community college students looking for support for their schoolwork.
Well, if anybody doing calculus needs help. So.
I was just going to say,
yes.
The money I spent on math tutors in my lifetime with my 2 children,
Yeah.
this is an amazing, resource. That parents should really take advantage
Can you
of.
explain a
and
little bit? How
students.
does it work? Is it?
I absolutely
you
can.
text a guy or the
Well, there's a variety of ways to do this. You log on, and most of the libraries at this point have a link on their website. I know Kingston Library has a link on our website where you can go to tutor.com. You enter your library card number, and if you don't have a library card, you can call your library and get one. You can register online for a library card. So you can put your library card number in, and it launches you into this amazing service where you can, between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m., actually engage with a live tutor. And you can engage in a variety of ways. You can do just chat. We're all used to that now with Zoom and all of that. You can engage by a video and audio. You can do video and just chat. It's really whatever your comfort level is as far as the parents and the students, because you're engaging with someone that you don't necessarily know. So there's a variety of ways to do that.
But it says here that the teachers have been vetted.
Teachers have absolutely been vetted. Yep.
On the website have been vetted. This is interesting. So some math teacher out in Ohio can answer your kid's question from Kingston or something. If you log on and
tutor.com. They've been around for a long time. This is not a new product. This is not a new company. They've been around for a long time, and they've been perfecting this service for a long time. So, like you said, they vet their tutors. They carefully choose them according to skills, abilities, talents. It might be a university student that you're working with. It might be a retired teacher. It might be a teacher in their off hours working with you for whatever service you need.
Is there a cost associated with this?
For the libraries, yes. And we came together as 21 libraries to get a really good price for that. When I first called to get a price for just Kingston Library, I kind of opened my eyes real wide. And, the 21 of us looked at each other and said, maybe we can bring that price down if we all go in together. And sure enough, we did. So the libraries...
Was receptive with that, or?
Most of these companies are. If they can get 21, they'd rather have 21 than 1, right?
Right.
Sure,
they'll start giving you bulk discounts, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did that. And...
Now, is that something that your budget could absorb, or do you need to fundraise for this, or?
This year, the budgets could absorb it because we, unfortunately, were unable to do things like in-person programming, and some of our other expenses sort of went by the wayside from spring through the summer. So a lot of us have reallocated pieces of our budget to pay for this. We have, however, for 2021, looked to the Ulster County Legislature for some support here. They've been very good over the years supporting the various things that the libraries...
Now, this is up and running currently, or is this being launched in the future?
It is up and running currently.
I went on our website over the weekend. It's one of the slides they flash on the top. And I clicked on that, put my card number in, and just poked around just to see. I didn't want to get assigned to a tutor, but I did go through some of the menus. And one of the things I liked, was particularly for somebody who's doing papers and may have a parent whose English is not perfect, you want somebody to proofread it for you, they will do that. You can submit a paper and they will read
That's
it.
a nice feature.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
They call that their drop-off service. So you can basically drop off your paper, go away, someone will review it, mark it up, give you
within
notes.
a certain time frame, or
You know what, I don't know, but I would imagine it's
Yeah.
probably
So, right?
within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's something my mother used to do for me. She was an English
Yeah.
major, and we would sort of drop off our papers with Mom. She'd whip out the red pencil, but this is something for.
Yeah, well, it's sad to say there's AI technology out there that can do that instantaneously, but
Yeah, but you want
A
that
real person-
human voice. You
Oh,
want.
absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
I'm just saying. I'm saying they could just send it to the mother computer somewhere, but if they're
Yes.
having an English teacher read your English essay,
Exactly.
that's so much better because
My parents were perfectly willing to do that for me, but now we have a lot of times where both parents work. And you may have someone who gets a good draft done in the afternoon, submits it, and then can make corrections without having to take their father or their mother who's tired from work and trying to get dinner and take care of younger siblings to take the time to sit and do it. They just don't have.
Right, right. No,
quite
absolutely.
frankly, there's a lot of parents out there who probably can't really. I'm giggling, laughing when I say this, but I'm not
Well-
disparaging anyone.
No,
but there are, the way our society is, there's adults who aren't proficient enough to help their children.
Well,
So that makes this
yeah.
type of resource so much more important, and well, quite frankly, makes it more educational than what a parent might be able to provide. So
Absolutely, it's
And
very
with-
high quality.
And especially with virtual learning right now, of course, so they don't have access to their teacher on a daily basis, that one-on-one, or going back in the classroom the next day and said, I had trouble with these problems, and, that specialized attention. So this is like extremely helpful at this point, and especially in areas like Cameron said, he joked about calculus, but in the math areas, absolutely, the sciences, things that
high school physics, Whew,
yeah,
good
I
gosh,
mean,
I struggled
yes.
to that.
When you were in high
40
school.
years ago, I struggled. My son's taking. Sorry, buddy, I do not remember what that is.
Yeah.
Even language classes, a parent may not be, be proficient in Spanish or whatever
Well,
class
and
they're
the
taking,
writing.
French or, yeah.
I have
Yes.
to tell you, I did high school calculus. I did a year of math at NYU. I can't do the new math.
Yeah, the way
I
they.
can do math in any database you want, whether not just a base of 10. I can add and subtract in Roman numerals. I can't do the new math.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very difficult. I know now, of course, my children are in their 30s. But my husband, right, Merchant Marine Academy, sailed, navigated ships around the world, went to sit down to do that math with the kids, and he just could not do it. And
Yeah.
it's very, very
the way
true.
They have
The
to,
re-
the way
yes,
they teach it.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I see another what to me would be a very valuable tool is there's parent info, parent coaching
Yep.
help.
Yep, because a lot of parents are now finding themselves as ancillary educators. People who
Yes,
maybe,
right.
their prior involvement was making sure their kid had a space to do the homework and the time to do the homework. Now they're actually having to help the kids with the homework in a way that they didn't ever have to before. What I'm hearing from teachers and educators is that they're missing that sort of casual contact where they can help with kids and have a conversation with kids and just on the fly talk. But a lot of this is now happening at home, and teachers, or parents rather, are looking for support.
I mean, the home is now a classroom, and you got to find a way to make it both. It has to be a classroom, and it has to be your home. And
Exactly.
I imagine the younger the child, the more important it probably is with creating a schedule or routine. Like, this is
Yep.
class time. It's not like fooling around. Whatever time.
Right. And since that
Yeah,
might be
it's-
happening in a corner of the kitchen or a corner of the living room, these parent coaching techniques, they're listed here: scheduling and organization, setting expectations, motivation and goals, managing knowledge gaps, finding balance, using resources, things that teachers would normally just be imparting during that
Exactly.
school day
Yeah.
that the teachers don't have access the kids don't have teachers or access to the teachers don't have access to the students as much as anyone would like. So parents are having to fill in the gaps, and tutor.com is sort of a tool that they can use to help fill in those gaps.
We teach our children so many things, but when it comes to sitting down and doing schoolwork, that's a different form of teaching, and not every child and every parent are able to form a bond where the parent can teach them. You may be able to teach them to ice skate or play football or something else, but getting them to sit down and do their spelling is a whole different kettle of fish.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Dangling participle,
Yeah.
And, quite frankly, there's a time and a place for everything, parenting and schooling and, with discipline and, babysitters or caregivers, a child going to a caregiver's house to do this, that finding the balance.
Very important.
Thank goodness my son is 16, senior high school, responsible. He knows to wake up and get out. I have to work every day. I'm a single father. And, if I had an 8-year-old, I frankly do not know what I would do, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have some family in the area, but a lot of people don't. And
they don't.
Imagine having 3 kids, 2 kids. Wow. The more you think about it, the scarier it is that, this type of resource could be hugely helpful. So.
Is the school districts aware of this? Are they promoting it? Because
not yet. It's just become live for the libraries, I would say, within the last week.
Oh, okay. So it's relatively new.
But we will absolutely be working with our local teachers and librarians to get the word out to the,
because
to
it's
the teachers.
an added resource for the teachers also.
Exactly. And if you look at one of the things I handed you, it's top 10 facts for educators about tutor.com. I know that they are so frustrated and so wanting to have more contact and more support for their students, and they just can't. So hopefully the educators will also look at this and see it as a tool for them that they can refer their students to. Because they can't do as much as they would want to do or normally can do.
And I think, with this hybrid model, I think there's going to be a lot more things left dangling. Like you're in school 2 days and bell rings, ding, ding, okay. Hold that sentence, we'll finish it up next week, whatever.
Right.
Right.
Whereas normally it would be the very next morning.
Yeah.
It's maybe 4 or 5 days later, depending on when these kids are going to school. So it's got to be a frustration for the teachers. So hopefully tutor.com will become a tool for them as well. Like here, it says it extends the learning day. Like I said, between 2 and 9 p.m., students can engage with a live one-on-one tutor online, whereas they might have, popped into their teacher's classroom after school or during lunch hour.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not able to do that, so maybe they can teach the.
24/7.
Not for us.
Not for us.
For us, it's 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. That was a budgetary issue.
Yeah.
The more hours available, the more it costs.
That's a great span of hours because it's right after school.
Yeah.
And then into the evening when parents get home. So it gives you a little bit of both. If you want your children to get their homework done, or if there were caregivers, there was grandparents, whatever the case may be, they have the opportunity to use tutor.com during that time frame. Or if parents are with them in the evenings, they can also be assisted. So I think that's a great time.
Well, that's the best time to do it. I mean, I had to, the sooner you get it done, the sooner it's over with.
Exactly.
That clicked, okay.
And those earlier hours of the day, you can still access tutor.com. You can use their drop-off service. You can use some of the tools that are there, practice tests, study guides, some of the other things that are there. They're just the live one-on-one tutors are available from 2 to 7, but the service itself is available 24/7. And it's 2 to 9, 7 days a week. So Saturdays and Sundays, if the kids are doing their homework, it's those tutors are available.
Oh, that's good on weekends also.
Yes.
Because that's helpful to parents.
Yes.
Yes, because
And-
sometimes after work at night, it's difficult.
Right.
So, yeah, weekends work very well.
And not every kid is a good planner. I mean, I know when I was in school, Sunday evening was usually crunch
Yes,
time for
that's
me.
right,
I was not, that Friday evening get it done kid.
Yeah,
I
no.
was
I was working in Saugerties, and we closed on Saturday at 2 o'clock, and at 2 minutes to 2, the phone rang, and I answered it, and they wanted to know when we closed, and I said, we close at 2 o'clock. And they said, when are you open tomorrow? I said, we're not open on Sunday. And he said, what am I going to do? My paper's due at 9 on Monday. And I'm like, 2 o'clock Saturday's a little late to start that.
Yeah. Yeah, there are,
Thought about that when they assigned it a week ago. Yeah.
And tutor.com also has Spanish speaking tutors. So if you need help with math or science or history, you can get that assistance in Spanish for students who maybe need that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a
The
tremendous
language
help.
barrier, Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very difficult at times. Yeah, no, that's great. That's even a great resource for the teacher who may be
Yes.
struggling a little bit with getting an idea across, especially remotely because of a language barrier, that they have the availability of tutor.com for the student. Yeah, that's great.
Who wants to help their child, but needs that little bit of explain it to me in Spanish so I can do
True.
it in
Good
English.
point, Ursula.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is tremendous, and I brought you maps of the Ulster County Libraries, the 21 Ulster County Libraries, so you can see just how far across the county this service stretches. It's available to all 180,000 residents of Ulster County. You just need a library card, and it's easy to get a library card. You can either register online or call your local library.
I do too.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
A number of years ago, we had an artist design this for us with details about the local communities. You know, you can kind of see there's horses in Saugerties, and there's, you know.
Who gets the beer?
That's what I was going to Hurley.
That's Kingston. That's Kingston.
There you go.
You know, each library director was asked, you know, tell me something about what represents your community. And I thought, well, we have Bluestone, we have bricks, we have beer, and Bluestone and bricks are just not visually appealing. So I said, you know, Kingston's got a long history of brewing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so we have this fun visual map so people can see, you know, where their libraries are. There's contact information on them. And these are available at the 21 libraries.
I love Phoenicia Library. They have a big black bear.
Yes.
That's a great.
That's right.
Oh, that's
And,
good.
you know, the last page that I brought for you today, another one of the things that the Ulster County Libraries are doing together is, you know, we're seeing the Zoom programming, the online programming, as an opportunity, because whereas, you know, last year we might have brought a program into Kingston Library and maybe had 10 folks attend on site, timing, location, whatever. We can offer a lot of programs online and offer them throughout the county. And so we're now offering a lot of our programs to whomever would like to sign up for them. And so we're getting much larger audiences. We're reaching more people.
Well, yeah, I mean, a cooking, you know, you can only fit as many people into the library as your room can hold, so.
Exactly. And for example, Kingston Library, we don't really have a functioning kitchen. So if Holly were to come to Kingston Library, she'd have to bring a hot plate or something like that, and sort of
everything,
you know, scale it. But we're offering this immune boosting foods cook along with Holly. She's in her kitchen on Zoom. You're in your kitchen. You know where your utensils are. You know where your
That's
tools
cool.
are.
And in 90 minutes, you can
Exactly.
in real time,
you can make
create a dish. That's cool.
And so she's teaching us nutrition, she's teaching us wellness, and
Is she a local person?
She is. Holly's been around a long time. Her company is called Nourishing Wisdom, and she does cooking classes that are fabulous.
Huh.
So folks who sign up for this one get a link to participate and cook along in their own kitchen, and they get the recipe. So they can have all the materials, you know, in advance and cook right along with Holly.
Cool.
That is great.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you go right on your website.
Yes.
And the link will be there.
Yep.
And when
on
when it's
Kingston
going to-
Library's website, if you go to events.
Is this a one-off deal, or will it be available to stream in the future? Or
This is a one-off. You know,
Okay.
this is Holly's business. So she, you know.
When is this?
This is going to be Thursday, November 5th.
Okay, so there's time. Yeah.
There's time.
Yep.
Yep. People can register, sign up. We'll
Do
send
you
the
know
link. We'll
what
send the
she's
link.
preparing?
She's making this really delicious sounding lentil soup.
Ooh, I like lentil soup.
Yes. So, you know, as we're looking down the barrel of, you know, wintertime and looking for nourishing foods, she's offered a really nice recipe for that.
Yeah, and lentils cook in under 90 minutes, so it's nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It should be a really fun program. We also, Kingston is offering an adult take and make craft. Margaret Britton, who I don't know if you remember, but she was doing monthly adult craft programs at the library that were very
The
popular.
program, but I don't remember
So she has sort of shifted online as well, and she's designing these take and make crafts. So we provide all the materials that you need to make these. Margaret has developed directions and sort of enough so that you can add your own little creative flair. And the first one is this tote bag, this autumn-themed tote bag, where you can applique leaf shapes onto it, and she's got some beads and some embroidery thread that you can decorate it with. And those are available free at the library. That people just have to call, say, I'd like to pick one up, and you can come on over and pick one up and take it home. And
Good business opportunity.
Yeah.
By mail, adult it may exist, or adult craft kits by mail.
and they're free for teens and adults.
Hey, listen, that's a good business. Etsy, Etsy needs a rival out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Margaret is a career librarian, believes in the public library work.
Good.
And we have a couple more free programs. One is college planning and financial aid, and one is Medicare 101, as we're looking at the, those seasons for families.
Yeah, well, that's open, now or shortly.
Open enrollment for Medicare, yep. Yeah. So if people have questions, we have a licensed agent who is doing 90-minute sessions or 2-hour sessions where you can ask questions, provide information. And college planning, many of us have been through that, and it's always good to have a knowledgeable person at your elbow to say, here's what to think about.
You're getting ready for that, Karen.
So all of these are available, online, countywide, via Zoom. And like I said, we're looking at this sort of new situation as an opportunity to expand our reach further into the community and allow people to access it when they might not have otherwise.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's
Well,
wonderful. And everything's available right on the website.
Yeah.
Dates, times.
I mean, thank goodness. Thank God for the internet. It's.
Yes, technology has made this.
Yes, there is some bright spots to this pandemic, and one of them is increasing interaction and computer literacy and demonstrating the power that it can have over our a positive power over our lives. It's not just social garbage.
Yeah.
Twitter and whatever mindless stuff. There's academia is succeeding and business world is succeeding. So, maybe to me that's one silver lining that this shutdown has resulted in. So
yeah. We also have university classes available. We've had them for quite a while through our website.
Universal class, yes, we have all kinds of education that way. That's been available for years. So this is just sort of
For someone who's got extra time on their hands, one of our board members took up painting. There's languages and different things like that. So, again, a way to use your technology without just doing social media. You could take a class in something that's always interested you.
Yeah. Well, we just said that Dr. Roberts was on before. And
same thing.
Instead of binge watching, some goofy TV Netflix show, you can literally, get a degree credit or something.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the universal class offers sort of job improvement, continuing education for job seekers and professionals. So if you're looking to up your bookkeeping skills or word processing, those skills are there on universal class on our website. So as you're looking to sort of strengthen your place in the job market or find a place, those are available too. And like you said, take a few hours, 8 hours or so, instead of binge watching, which we all need.
We need a little bit of that.
Sure, but enough's enough at some point.
Yeah. So we're offering opportunities through the libraries.
So really, individuals should go on your website and really go and explore and see what's there, because you have so much to offer. Even sitting here right now, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this webinar is great. This is what it'd be wonderful, like you said, a painting class. But go on and see what's available. And your website is
kingstonlibrary.org.
Nice and easy.
And easy.
Yes.
Now, we only got about a minute or so left, but is the library open for any in-person at all?
It is. We are, nope, our doors are back open during our regular business hours, so people can walk in to browse the shelves. We have stored away our furniture, so we're asking people not to sit and linger, and we're asking people to sort of manage their visit to about an hour.
Are you limiting the numbers?
Well, we have the gift of a beautiful big building, so we are finding that we're not being overwhelmed with folks. It hasn't happened. So people are feeling very comfortable coming in. There's plenty of space. We have 16,000 square feet between adult and children's. So people are welcome to come in, browse the collection, chat with their, favorite library staff members again. We miss you. So people, yes, can walk in, browse the collection, check things out. It's really nice to see people in the building.
And your hours or your?
They vary. We open Monday and Tuesday. We open from 10 to 6. Wednesday we're open from noon to 8 p.m. Thursday and Friday 10 to 6, and Saturday 9 to 5.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's great. That's wonderful. So go into the library.
Come back
go
to
on
the website.
Walk in, log on. Do whatever. Just support.
We're trying to
library
support.
and better yourself somehow.
Yeah, and we're
And
trying
you're
to
supporting
support
the
everyone
community.
as much as we can.
Yeah,
Yep.
you are. Definitely. Great.
Well, ladies, keep it up. And
So informative. Always so informative.
yeah,
when
we'll
you
see
come.
you. Be around near Thanksgiving time next time we see you.
That's
So,
right.
Yes.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That'll be
Maybe
exciting.
Shelley can do a Thanksgiving cooking demonstration. next time.
We'll see what she can do for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Stuffing.
There we
that's
go.
the most important part. So.
Nutritional stuff.
That's right.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much. All right, Dan.
Thank you, Cameron Rylance and Nina Postyapak, and a major special thanks to Ursula and Marjorie for bringing us all the community resource that they give us. Kingston Community Library. And KCR is Kingston Community Radio, AM 920, 92.5 FM, Tuesday, October 27th, 48 degrees now here in Uptown Kingston. And this portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the Kingston Lions Club, serving the Kingston-Ulster County area since 1941. Call 845-901-9067 for more information. Today, sun rose at 7:23 a.m., and it's mainly cloudy today with a high of 54, 20% chance of rain today, and tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 33. Wednesday, a 50% chance of showers in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, a high of 59. Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies in the evening, then cloudy overnight, low 41. Thursday, 90% chance of showers early, becoming a steady rain later, and that's a high of 48. Thursday night, 90% chance of rain again, and a low of 34. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Hi, this is Scott Harrington from Hurley, and I support Kingston Community Radio because the people need a place to have their voice heard, and it's lost in corporate radio, so please keep listening and supporting our station.
Thank you, Scott. And you're listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. And don't forget, Thursday, November 5th, is a big day, and we will be on air from 7 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. with a huge, huge lineup of incredible community activists and just a who's who of incredible people throughout the Kingston area to host the Happy Christmas Fund. And that is this coming Thursday, November 5th, which is Thursday a week from this coming Thursday at the Boyce Dairy Milk House, and we'll be airing live from the Boyce Dairy Milk House all day long, 7 to 9 a.m., and every half hour is a new our new hosts. A powerful community bank is one that has leaders that are involved in their community. At Rondout Savings, they invest in the success of our community by working side by side with local people and local businesses. Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and our community. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Postupek and Cameron Rylance for this home stretch of Terrific Tuesday. Welcome back.
Yeah, that's
And we're on the air.
The last half hour,
Home
Cameron.
stretch with Paul Hakeem.
Good
Yes,
morning.
good morning,
Welcome,
Paul.
welcome. Well, I think a lot of that is mask and COVID fatigue. You know, it's been. We were just talking off the air about different parts of the country and how they're
Yes, what
reacting.
Paul
and,
is seeing in all those
and
different
it's,
states.
I think it's everybody's the same. Everybody's in the same boat. Some people aren't wearing masks. I was at a conference. I was really surprised. There were a lot of people in their 70s and 80s who were at the conference, no masks.
And what state was that?
Chastising us for wearing masks. They were like, come on. Well, they were from like the Midwest.
Midwest, okay.
Stuff, and,
All
they're
right.
feeling their spike as everybody is. But like I said before we were on the air, there's what I see from a state to state as I've been traveling around is, here I come home and there's a fear factor. I think everybody's cognizant, but here, it's just to the next level. Not saying that's wrong. It is serious if, you're going to find out or, a lottery on whether you don't know you have pre-existing conditions. But,
well, you think back to April when literally
I was just
there
going to say we were.
refrigerated trucks full of bodies outside hospitals.
Yeah, we were the
that
first.
was a little scary
yes, it
for
was.
anybody. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on or what religion
And
you
being
are.
the first state really that it hit and it hit
when the
quick and fast.
When the crematorium in Kingston is working double shifts 7 days a week to
that's
handle
not
the
what you wanna
volume
hear.
of remains, that's a little scary or a little freaky minimally,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
think about,
absolutely.
let that fact sink in. Double shifts 7 days a week. Wow.
Yeah.
Scary, man.
No, totally. It is a scary thing, but it's interesting to see the difference in different parts of the country.
Yeah,
how
that's what I
people
was curious about.
Are digesting it. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm very diligent. I'm usually wearing my mask. Maybe not so much on the rail trail and that type of stuff.
I walk my dog uptown. I'd stay
Right.
6 feet away, buddy. Don't give
Yeah.
me your hairy eyeball, Mr. Jersey guy.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are adapted and somewhat back to business as usual. I know in my circle it is full speed ahead. We're doing a lot like everybody else over the phone via Zoom, which I'm so tired of. Somebody sent out like, oh, let's do a call, and they sent out a Zoom link. I was like, no, just please send out a dial-in. We don't need the extra pressure of being on stage on video.
Try not to pick your nose for an hour and a half.
Well, I had to tell you, just from my perspective, sometimes it's very difficult when you're in Zoom and you're looking at yourself for an hour on that computer. It gets hard at times, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at my hair, look at this, look at that, and you're staring at your own face. It can wear on you at times.
Yeah.
But back to what we're talking about when you first came into the studio is I was curious because I think we live in such a diverse country. And, we all become very grounded in our state, our area, our community, and what's going on around here and what we're feeling. So I'm always curious when you move outside of New York State into, like you're saying, the Midwest or down south and what the perception is down there. I always ask my mother-in-law a ton of questions when she calls because they live down in Florida. And what we felt up here in April, she hasn't felt until maybe a month and a half ago. So I was just curious what you were seeing as you traveled.
Yeah, well, I do travel a lot for work, and I travel a lot through the whole lockdown. We had a project going in Charlotte and Greenville at the time, so I was down there fairly consistently. But I got it down to a science. It was one stop on the way, stop for gas. There was a McDonald's drive-through at that gas station. Wiped my hands off, back in the car, and I was at my brother's, and was able to stay there. And they've been totally locked down, as we have been up here. I think it really has a lot to do with people's daily activities, what they do. You're in the county building, a public area. Teachers in school, sure, they've got, a reason to have concern. Don't know what the right answer is there, but
grocery store personnel and
right.
Like you said, you had a routine. You were alone in your car. You stop. You go to your residence. I go to home. I work alone. I mask up in the grocery store. I go home. I have half a dozen friends I see routinely, and we're all similarly careful. And you get in a routine, and you're a safe bubble. It's breaking that routine, or coming in contact with someone who doesn't have a routine. That's where the
concern lies.
Contamination.
And I guess I'm kind of lucky. I work. I'm alone in the office. My wife is the same thing. She's in a small office. It's just her in the office most of the day. So neither one of us missed a day through the whole thing. So. I also am involved with lending, so we were doing a lot of PPP applications, and we were double time, through that whole thing. I've got a couple partners who are remote, so we were all hunkered down in our little bubbles, but
is your only
still
way to do it.
But still full bore ahead. I still have a lot of clients who are in trouble, from a financial perspective.
Right.
I've got a lot of restaurant clients, and
Is it tough?
That's tough.
It's really difficult.
Hard. There was a boop.
And we've just our nice weekends are fleeting. We were blessed with a handful of nice weeks in a row, and now with these guys moving inside, they're back to restrictions, more distancing.
That's going to put a big crimp in business.
Yes, and we've had that spike across the country. Because people are moving inside, I think. They're just let their guard down a little bit. It's not as, people are not being as diligent, so now we're seeing, the spikes.
And you get a taste of, quote unquote, what normal used to be like, in a bar or restaurant. And, with that welcome sigh of relief is that also extra level of, contracting.
What was interesting is I read one of the local nursing homes, won't name, was
in the
on
paper
the news
today,
there, 100 cases, but mostly asymptomatic, which was
Which was interesting, yes.
Really interesting.
That population is susceptible to respiratory distress.
I spoke at a Chamber of Commerce event in the southern tier. It was for 4 counties, and we were talking about Oneonta, and there was a bunch of bankers and one of the county execs or head of the county, whatever county it was, and they were talking about, and I asked about SUNY Oneonta, where they went in, they found 600 cases. I said, well, what happened? I know, okay, great, you tested everybody, sent people home, but at what point, did you deem it safe to send the kids home, because, okay, now you got a hot spot, a cluster.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to spread them all out and send them home. So apparently they were tested, and whoever was found positive, they quarantined there before they sent them home. And then I asked about hospitalizations. Apparently there was not one hospitalization, with that spike. So I don't know whether it's getting a little softer as it mutates and, goes through here. But, interesting dynamics, interesting times.
But she also lends the thing, I haven't been tested, not that I'm against it or whatever, just whatever. How prevalent this virus could be. If everyone if everyone was asymptomatic, so unless you've been tested and it's a legitimate negative test, you could have had it, come and gone asymptomatically, whatever,
Right.
Maybe there wasn't a hangover 2 months ago. Maybe that was a day or two of illness.
So many unknowns,
I don't know.
too, because they thought once you had it, you had built up an immunity to it, and now they're finding that may not be the case.
I've read that several people have gotten it the second time. It's way worse. So, gosh, that's terrible.
Well, I wish somebody was able to confidently speak to it. What I mean? Because, you get Dr. Fauci on, and you get some other talking head on the TV,
And then some
and
other
it's totally
one, and another
different,
one.
and it's like, does it spread, does it not spread, is it cough, is it hands? I'm
too much out there.
Right,
Misinformation.
And then you're looking at Europe. It's spiked over there now. I mean, the pubs in London are being shut down, Spain, France. So I don't know. I agree with you. And no one seems to have defined really what we're facing.
Right. And I agree with the statement. Yeah, we're finding more because we are testing more. But, ultimately, it's the symptoms. The asymptomatics are out there. The symptoms are what matters. The hospitalization rates, the mortality rate.
Yeah.
Those are the real driving numbers. And, unfortunately, they're, back to a sad level. So not just an indicator of how many people were tested positive. I want to see how many people are, actually
Sick.
feeling it. Right.
Yeah, in the hospital and respirators, whatever. So
Yes. Yeah. So,
be vigilant.
I've had enough of talking about
Yeah,
COVID.
exactly.
That's
You
darn
made
sure.
a comment that I thought was great. You made a comment through this discussion is that everything's back full swing. And when you speak about that, you're speaking about not only New York, but you're speaking about throughout the country where you've visited recently in the projects you've been involved in. So that is a good sign in that respect as far as our economy coming back.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the economy took a big dip, but it was self-induced.
Right.
We consciously closed the economy down, right? So,
Yes,
I don't know what there needs to be fixed besides flipping the switch back on at the right time, right? So, everybody's just got to, coast here a little bit more, and the next couple of months are going to be interesting, as is the next week.
Yeah.
Yes, as is the next week. Very true.
Well,
8 days from now,
I'll be able to turn the TV back on again. Maybe.
Maybe.
We consciously have just turned it off because there's just so much noise and rhetoric, and it really is awful to listen how polarized the world is right now. And I think we talked about this last month. I'm stuck in the middle. And I've got extreme friends in both wings.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd all.
I have personally, I have disparate views. I have liberal and conservative opinions. So I can't.
You're torn right inside.
Yeah, exactly. I can't
Right,
pigeonhole
right.
myself.
Parents.
You too. I'm sure. We all do.
We all do. We all do.
And you can't. If you have any, humanitarian instincts inside you, you have helping people, and you got fiscal conservative feelings. It's every person has.
True.
Well, I think what's happened is
things.
there's a lot of people who have turned politics into religion, or replaced religion with politics, and it's driving their lives, which isn't right.
Well, if social media didn't exist and you still had to write letters and book airtime to get your opinion out there, it would be less toxic, I believe. It's now everyone can become an expert and spew their hate
and vent
24/7. Visually, audio.
Well, yeah, and you know what? You could do it in a moment of heated frustration, and you shoot that tweet out or you shoot that out on Facebook, whatever. Where before you never had that. You would write it down. I'm going to write a letter, and then the next day you'd read and say, "What am I saying
I say this
here?"
to my son all the time. The president of the United States should not be using Twitter.
Right.
I think
Agreed.
there would be a lot less vitriol in this world if some of the things that were said weren't said in the heat of the moment. So
Absolutely.
every that moment of thinking about it,
that's
matters
right. That's
for
right.
everybody.
And it's kind of sad too. And I think that COVID has created a lot of angst and animosity, and people are hunkered down and just percolating. And it's amazing. I stopped going on social media and stuff because so many friends, acquaintances that I am connected to on social media, there's so much hate in their posts. It's
About
not
everything.
It's not
even only political.
Right.
It's
yeah, but it's not. It's not like, hey, okay, here's a topic we need to talk about it. It's you're wrong, and you're in.
You're a blankety blank.
And it's amazing, and the nicest, sanest people, I thought.
Yeah, right. You're now
to
finding
see
out
some of the things that they post, and it's like, really, Did you think twice after you hit send
no,
on that?
Too much time on people have too much time on their hands.
Right.
So, Paul, I thought of you this weekend when the article came out on the pilot for the Kingstonian, and you were on the radio with us at one point, and you said, what pilot should be about is negotiation. You start here, you start up here, and you bring it together to the center. And I really think that's what happened with the pilot with the Kingstonian. So
With
just
the
reworked pilot that they came
yeah,
out
yeah,
with
yeah.
after the.
Did they? I've heard so many things back and forth, up, down,
Yeah,
good,
so they've
bad.
come up with a reworked pilot.
Okay. So what did they do? Raise the amount a little bit? Because that was my idea. Don't throw the pilot away. It's necessary, but just
Yes, they
find
raised the
that
amount.
find that middle ground.
And then they agreed to tie future things to the actual revenue, not just projections. And it seemed like they met in the
did
middle.
some
There was-
green efficiencies
Yeah.
that they
Good.
requested, and they raised the amount.
Yeah. Listen, there's a palatable middle ground there. You know, what missed out in all the conversations was, there's a $10 million investment being made by the developer for the city's half of the parking garage, because the parking garage is $20 million. So the city's going to be allocated half of that. Yeah, they got $1 million grant, but if they really wanted to unwind the thing, the city should have analyzed what the cost of bonding that other $9 million was for the city's contribution to have that parking garage, because people quickly would have seen what the cost of funds looks like. When you borrow $9 million over a 20-year bond, you're
paying
double.
$7 million back or
Well,
whatever.
you're paying double. When
In
you,
interest,
you borrow $100,000 on a 30-year mortgage, even at 4 or 5%, you're paying back $250,000. Yeah. So it's people don't think through the math.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little short-sighted.
And well, it's just you follow the sound bite and not the dig into the details here. Just like with negotiating the pilot, finding what is the palatable number, right? It's not a yes no. It's incentives are designed to help build the community. We need the infrastructure with the parking garage. We need housing. We have a housing crisis.
Which was my next topic. The Golden Hill seems to be moving forward.
Well, they did the RFQ, and they apparently got 5 developers in, and I helped stimulate the process of a zoning change. And, now that's kind of stalled in the city now because, for good or bad reason, some neighbors have come out against it, and it's become now political. Yep. So, they're all like, well, hey, let's get a project in front of us so that we can analyze the project as opposed to just doing a generic zoning change. That's worse, because now you've got a developer who, to get to that point to present to them, is going to have to spend a couple $100,000 to go get arrows shot at them. Right? So,
potentially get shot down. Or
so,
whatever.
now is the time. This is a community decision, okay, of what we need for us. It's not about who the developer is or what color the siding is or stormwater or anything like that right now. Right now it's about
senior center.
Right
whatever.
now it's about a zoning change, and it's better that it happens without a developer with hundreds of thousands of dollars at risk, because if he gets shot down, we want to keep that developer with some dry powder, and let's move him over here. It's not that we don't want him. Find out where we want him. We went through this in the town of Hurley.
Well, it seems to me that if the zoning change is made, and then you pick your developer, you have a better shot of. It seems fairer, because a well-connected developer could get a zoning change that the other one couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
the guy that couldn't get the zoning change might have a better product. You know what I mean? It seems
I do, absolutely.
Seem more transparent.
And the other piece of that was they were complaining about, while the Golden Hills got an RFP out for that property, why is Lawton Park included in there? Because you need to give the developer choices. Now, we could potentially have 2 sites that are ready. One could be workforce housing, another could be market rate housing. Developers have choices. And if we really want it, we've got to give the developers choices, because there's a major stumbling block on the jail property, and that's the jail. All right? It
has to be taken down.
It needs to come down. I've spoken to 3 project managers for 3 of the 5 developers have reached out to me for, assistance on some some items, and they're estimating between $1.2 million and $1.5 million to take the jail down. That's a preliminary estimate. What happens when you get on site? That number goes up.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So as soon as they do a real asbestos testing, all this stuff through there, once the project advances more, it could get to a point where it's cost prohibitive for them to build on that site. So we need a backup site.
Yeah.
If we're going through the process of a zoning change, let's give them some options. And
Well, if it's cost prohibitive for a developer to demolish it and says, no, we're going to pass on this site, it's still, the building has to come down. That means it's going to fall back on our tax dollar.
Well,
You know what I mean?
and I was advocating that, if the county is serious and really wants to liquidate the property, the county should find and source a grant to take that building down. Because then
Old hole.
that eliminates
Hole goes
a
right into that
huge
big hole.
that eliminates a huge variable for the developer.
Yeah.
And then listen, I distributed a while ago the breakdown of a rent dollar for every dollar of rent. A landlord is lucky if he sees 6%
Of the dollar.
of that rent. Okay, so the developer, the margins are tight. The Kingstonian, I hope it gets built. I'm an advocate for it. But what's lost in this equation and this conversation, we've been
The
talking
risk
about this
that
for a
the
year
developers
or
are
two now. It's going to be interesting when they revisit their construction budget. I'm sure they've been looking at it, but they've been focused on pilots and capital stack. And now they're going to figure it all out, and then they're going to turn around and go back to their prime contractors and see the difference in building costs right now. Go out and try to buy a sheet of plywood, a sheet of sheetrock, a 2x4. It blew my mind. A particle board. It was $32 for a sheet of press board.
I was all weekend long. I'm cutting these boards, pressure treated. I got a $60 board, 16-foot 2x8 pressure treated. It's like $60.
Right.
It's like, don't measure twice, buddy.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, right.
I want to see you measure it. It's
Right.
unbelievable.
Right.
Imagine building a 5-floor apartment building.
So that's going to be interesting.
16,000 doors.
They're talking about a $50 million project. What's it going to be when it really goes out to bid?
Right.
And a lot of that's we got hurricanes. There was some civil unrest. I understand one of the building trade magazines said $1 billion worth of glass was broken. Throughout
through all
country.
the various
Protests and
Protests.
$1 billion worth of glass.
And that's not fair to say protests that there were rioters amongst the
Oh
protesters.
yeah, well whatever.
Right. Yeah, good point. Yes.
For
yes.
whatever reason,
I'm
$1
not
billion
picking that
of glass
scab. Not
got-
picking that scab, and
Jeez.
there is a
good point.
difference.
Buy stock in PPG Industries. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, also, I have a video after there was chaos in New York City. 5th, 6th, and 7th Avenues for like 12 blocks were totally boarded up, 100%, all the stores. And I was watching the video. I was like, where the hell did they get all the plywood from, and how the hell did they get it up so fast?
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, good
It was
question.
amazing.
Yeah.
Really
You could
amazing.
build 4 houses with all that shit, or 10 houses, whatever, whatever.
Right. So, again, we, need some traction. We need some of these projects to, really,
Move forward.
Yeah. Every time something is proposed locally, it's so controversial.
Well, and then the tax burden, the lost revenue from the shutdown, every municipality, the state, the county, the city, budget shortfalls, and if you're going to chase away development that will bring increased tax revenue in, that's, cutting your nose off.
And that's something I really haven't seen too much. I saw that sales tax collections were up, and we might finish the year close to even without that much of a shortfall.
There's still
I know
3
that
months
they were.
left in the year, though,
I know. Originally, they were thinking the county was going to have a $30 million or $20 million deficit, and it seems.
Yeah, it appears at the moment. Yes.
Yes. Maybe we'll get clearer information. After the next quarterly reports come out. Maybe after the election, we'll start seeing different information too.
I don't know about you guys. I'm spending away.
Yeah, there you go, Karen. You're into that sales
tax.
tax.
As broke as I was before, so I'm
Hey,
contributing.
everybody is spending. Everybody is, doing that. But you know what? The Main Street stores are hurting because people are doing that more and more online.
Yeah. Best Buy, another store,
and
even Kingston.
That's awful. And about the post office. thing, and people were complaining they're pulling apart the first class sorting machines. I dug into that because it was bothering me just hearing that, and I haven't seen any delays in mail or anything like that. But the volume of first class mail is down significantly.
Oh, yeah.
So they've been abandoning those
mail.
machines
Yeah.
for years. Okay, but the problem I have with the post office, and they're all
a minute left,
all great people, but when I see the post office delivering Amazon packages on Sunday, when the post office loses $8 billion a year, that means that they underbid FedEx and UPS to get that work while they're losing billions of dollars. So what they're effectively doing, we're subsidizing the post office to put Main Street businesses out of business because they can buy it online delivered cheaper to their house because we're subsidizing it through the post office. So that's
free shipping isn't free. It's costing somebody somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. But we're hurting with that cheaper shipping.
It's
making it cheaper to buy it online instead of buying it on your Main Street vendor.
At Bill's store down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
So people don't think about that circular loop of
Yeah.
what we're subsidizing.
That's why we bring you on the airport.
Yes.
like this for these deep economic things. I'm not being good, but it's serious. I never thought of that. Holy crap.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, it's not.
So, all right, we got to go.
Right.
All right.
Thanks,
Well,
Dan.
thank you
Thanks for
so much,
listening.
everybody. Have a terrific Tuesday.
Paul Hakeem, thank you very much. All right, Dan.
Dan.
Thank you, Paul Hakeem, for being our last guest for today's terrific Tuesday. It's now 8:59 a.m., Tuesday, October 27th. October 27th. Boy, days go fast. And we've got about 48 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. And don't forget, WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund happens Thursday, November 5th at Boyce Dairy Milk House, and we will be on air 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. for incredible festivities and a who's who list of fantastic people to host the show all day. Boyce's Dairy Milk House, Happy Christmas Fund, November 5th. And we thank you for being with us today on Kingston Community Radio. And until this last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC. And until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. We now return you to Real Country Radio.
WGHQ Kingston and online at realcountryhv.com.